And we are angry about that. I've been enraged, and when I hear about these things that are happening to women, I get enraged, but I don't go out and let that rage run my life.
So the last few years has given rise to the mean girl. You know, she's kind of like the woman that'll steal your husband and not really think twice about it. Like, what is going on with women that they're so mean to each other?
I think that it starts with they're mean with themselves. It starts within. They're mean to themselves, and the pain that they feel within, they think it's okay for another woman to feel. And I find it very, very odd that a woman, the compassion a woman will have for another woman is very, very, it's so minute. They will look at another woman and say, you know, well, I've had a struggle, so why shouldn't you? And it's so odd to me that that's the mindset, when here we are as a gender, we are naturally compassionate, but when it comes to another woman, it just doesn't happen. And there's a little bit of an edge, it is, if I can do it, you can too. You can get over it. I had to get over it. And I think it started a whole new era. And if we could only understand that the power and the wisdom we hold within, and we embody it within ourselves, I think this is something that would happen less and less, but we don't get it because women tend to want to get what the other woman has. And
it's all women or just these mean girls?
No, I think it's certain women, a certain woman, as it would be a certain man that would say yes to that woman. It's a certain, you can't say all men cheat. That's not fair.
Yeah.
And it's not all women who do this. It's a certain kind of woman. And it starts within, though. I think there's a hatred within, and an anger within, and a competition within.
I think I would say that we are pitted against each other by the society that we live in. And we are, and not just to go on a media bashing spree here, but I would say that there's something about what's happening in the media. We then distrust other women. We think there's a scarcity of resources. We think there's a scarcity of men, and I don't think it's new. I think it's been going on for a long time, and I'm thinking of Susan Faludi's book, Backlash, that came out in the late 80s, early 90s, that was talking about, oh, there's a shortage of men, and women have to get out there and grab a guy if they want a guy, and it's all competitive. But when we hear this, then we become competitive. We think there's not enough resources, we think there's not enough success, we think there's not enough love to go around. And I think somehow that's fed to us in the culture that we live in. So we have to counter that. And countering that comes back to, who are you? And can you give yourself the same, can you give another sister the same thing that you want for yourself? I think there's also a flip side to the mean girl piece, that when girls are bullied, when girls are mistreated when they're young, when they are maybe bullied by other girls, then they might become mean and vindictive. And I was kind of a mean girl for that reason at one point in my life, in my teen years, because I was so bullied and picked on and made fun of and ridiculed and shamed, and nobody stood up for me. And when that happened, then I thought to myself, you people that are picking on me, I'm just gonna take your boyfriends. You know, I'll show you, you know. Yeah, well, I could do that. We learn that and we teach that to our girls, and then it just sets forth a vicious cycle. Eventually you have to say, this is not who I want to be. Why would I want to do that?
It always comes back to ourselves, whether we're a man or a woman. It always comes back to ourselves. And you know I have a mean girl in me still, but I've learned to love her. I don't need to let her act out or give my life over to her. I've learned to love her and be with her. And you know, I actually started a movement years ago called Women Standing for Love, because we need to learn to be together and stand for the love that we are. And we need to learn to care for each other, to stop comparing and competing and being mean to each other. Let's bring out our little mean girl. and love her and find out, why are you so upset? The society we grow up in has undermined the feminine qualities, for sure. And we are angry about that. I've been enraged, and when I hear about these things that are happening to women, I get enraged, but I don't go out and let that rage run my life, but I meet that, and then that energy can do something in the world so it's more productive. For instance, starting women's groups where we can heal that mean girl, because she's not mean, she's hurting, right? And what does hurt need? Love. So it always comes back to ourselves.
It comes back to ourselves.
Yeah.
Well, she's behaving mean, and we're all behaving mean today, and it's because we're in pain. And in my latest book, which talks about how we're all changing, this is the outcome of it, is you've talked about how women are not supported, how femininity has been hugely suppressed. And this is where we have to honor the feminine. But it's not just men that are not honoring the feminine, it's women are moving way over to their masculine side. And these girls have so much pressure to be independent, to be on their own, because they're growing up in an environment where they have no consciousness of partnership, where they have no sense of, I can trust to have a partner in my life so I don't have to do everything myself. And we recognize, when we go too far one direction, the good news is we start to self-correct. It becomes so obvious that this is happening.
Clearly this mean girl culture is a problem, and it affects women in so many different profound ways. If you are in a relationship with a mean girl, or you feel like you've fallen into that kind of behavior yourself, you can change it. You're not alone. These people can help you. There's lots of resources on the web, but just know that women coming together to help each other in sisterhood, that's where the answers lie.